It's your boy Amreezy, and I'm back with another Road to Sorare Boss episode where we follow my journey from Sorare Beginner, which, for about 6 months I've been, to Sorare Boss, hopefully where we're going. So, it's been a week. It's been an international break, so I didn't do a Sorare video last week, quite simply because there was no squads for me to play. I put out a few, I had like 2 or 3 players that I could have played. My squad is not looking good for the Euros in terms of Sorare because I don't seem to have that many international players. All the competitions that Sorare were playing this week were a lot of friendlies. So I guess I have a few England cards. I guess I have a few European cards, which were done in friendlies, which weren't covered by Sorare. So it was a very quiet international break for me, hence a lack of activity on the channel. But we're back now that the real football's coming back now. Premier League's back, European League's back, my beloved Mexican League is back. So yeah, we're back, loving Sorare. However, this week's interesting. Sorare have changed the gameplay. The gameplay has now changed. They've rolled out the change. It's a whole new Sorare. We now have the categories, the regions, we have the contenders, we have the challengers, we have champions, we have the 3 regions, and already it's thrown a bit of a spanner in the work for me. I'll show you when I preview my teams towards the end of the video why that's a bit of a problem for me. However, I'm still going slow. I'm not rushing. I do need to buy a few cards if I'm going to compete a bit more in those leagues, but I'll get to that. Let's start off this video by taking a look at how I did, not last week because it was an international break, but the week before that when I had some lineups going. So this is how I did in the last sort of game week that I sort of seriously played. We've had an international break. Didn't have any serious teams here. You can see here at the top on this new fancy Sorare layout. Look how beautiful it is. You can see here, these 3 game weeks, I basically had nothing to play because my international options weren't great. So very quiet for me. But this was the kind of last game week 4, 5, 9 it was, when I had a sort of game week. It was 2 weeks ago. And the under 23, look at this fancy new graphic. Love that. Look at that. Enzo just saluting. My card, Enzo, I've got him. Beautiful. Under 23s was, I think, the best team for me, was my best team. It is my priority now, especially with a lot of these roadmap changes coming up. Under 23 lineup for me is kind of, I think, my strongest lineup. I've got a good goalkeeper, got some okay players. The striker here, that's still the player I'm still not nailed down. I haven't got a consistent goal-scoring striker. Cade Cowell, he's been hit and miss. So at the moment, I'm kind of just hoping he hits when the others hit. I have a bit more security here. My goalkeeper did well, 84. Soleil, not the best score for Soleil. He had given me some 90 scores for about 4 weeks in a row. 76 wasn't great for him. I captained him as well. But, he's got a tricky game this weekend coming. But then after that, he's a great card. Minder, I bought him recently. 85 from him. He's a nice little pick. Cercle Bruges, young attacking midfielder. He plays sort of just off the striker. So he's getting a lot of goals. Might even be their leading goal scorer this season. I'm unsure. But these 3 did okay. But these 2 let me down. Cade Cowell, he's the Chivas new striker. I'm hoping he's settling in still at the club. Hoping he's going to become more consistent. I just think I've seen him play a few times. There's potential there. He's lively, but he didn't deliver last week. And then Destiny Udogie, 3-0 defeat for Spurs against Fulham. Didn't see that coming. I'm hoping, just for Sorare reasons, I'm hoping that Spurs' attacking form picks up because I can't be having that. He's kind of one of my best under 23 defenders. Him and Soleil, they're my 2 best defenders. So didn't expect that, so he was a letdown. But then these 3 did well. So, 310 points wasn't bad considering of those scores. In the capped leagues, I didn't enter Champion America. I think this might have been one of the last weeks I could have done Champion America. I didn't do it just because in the end, I had 4 Santos players. I could have gone with a strong Santos lineup. They did have what I thought was an easy game. They didn't win, unfortunately, 2-2. It felt like a win, though, because they were losing 2-1 and they got a last-minute equalizer, so 2-2 finish. I thought I'd put 4 of them with Harry Kane because they had a good fixture and put it in here. And the L15s were quite low, so it fitted nicely in this league instead. So nothing was to be won. Kane did his part. Harry Kane living out his dream of lining up with Santos players. But these boys all didn't deliver, so Santos still looking good, though. Still looking like they're building some momentum with this new manager. They've got a game against the second to bottom team in the weekend. If they can pick up a win again, might be able to pick up some form. The best capped performance was, I think, the 270, where Best there, still, look at him, 125, gave me a juicy score. I'm slightly worried with the kind of roadmap changes that I'm not going to be able to play as strong of a squad in the Champion League and the European, where the Bundesliga is. So I don't know where Best is going to fit after the cap leagues go. I'm hoping by then I'll have maybe a few more cards that I can piece together for that league. But for now, the only place I can play him now is the capped league. So we're enjoying it while we can. Goalkeeper is hit and miss. Mauri, a clean sheet from him. Again, he's a bit like Best there. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to need a few pieces to stitch together the likes of these guys when they have good game weeks. But for now, they're doing well in the capped leagues. Our Niwi is a concern for Nottingham Forest. He's injured again. Very frustrating card to own because he's either injured or does really well. He's been giving me some good scores while he plays for Nottingham Forest. And then he's injured. And then he gives good scores again. So, like, you can't really sell him because they're never serious injuries. And you think, oh, well, he'll be back and scoring goals again soon. So he didn't deliver. And then Big Brian in Mexico. Disappointing Brian. Cap 240, no one really stood out here. I put a DMP goalkeeper with a few punts. Jordan Carrillo at Santos had a good game. He's an exciting card. Midfielder, very cheap. Playing as a false 9 in this new sort of Santos setup that the new manager's got going. So he takes corners, I think, as well. So hoping he can kind of be a nice under-the-radar pick for me in the Mexican League. So those are the kind of how I did in the last game week that I seriously played. Then there's been some international game weeks. In terms of cards I've bought, as you can see here, my budget is kind of gone, and I don't really want to put any more in until I kind of definitely know what I'm doing with the roadmap changes. So since the last video, I think I've only bought 2 cards with the rest of my budget. Those have both been Chelsea cards, these 2 cards here. Conor Gallagher for what I think is a good price, and Chalobah for 150. I think they're good prices. They help me fill my Chelsea collection that I've been building from this season. Last season's Chelsea's cards. I've been building that collection. So what I'm thinking is going for Premier League Classic next season because I need a goalkeeper. And ideally, I want the Chelsea goalkeeper to go with the Chelsea cards that I've got. You know, I've got Enzo Fernandez, Reece James, Conor Gallagher now, Sterling. I've got Chalobah, Badiashile. I've got quite a few starting Chelsea players when they're fit. I just need a goalkeeper. The problem is Petrovic is the Chelsea goalkeeper, number 1 at the moment. However, I'm not fully certain he's going to be the goalkeeper next season. There is the Sanchez, who's the backup goalkeeper, who was the first team goalkeeper before he got injured. It seems Petrovic is the number 1, but, you know, I'm kind of just probably going to have to wait now till next season because I want to know Petrovic is definitely the number 1. So ideally, I want Sanchez to leave in the summer and then to promote a youth goalkeeper to be backup. Let's see. We've also got Kepa coming back. Kepa's coming back in the summer, I think. So what's he going to do? Is he going to challenge for first team? I have no idea. So with the price Petrovic is at the moment as well, kind of thinking I should wait till the summer when the season's finished. Prices will come down a bit. I can get him then if he seems like the Chelsea number 1 goalkeeper. Or I look for another Premier League goalkeeper to play with my Chelsea cards. There's a lot of decisions to be made there, but I don't really want to spend that if I'm not fully certain at the moment. So only the 2 new cards bought. I don't think there's going to be much more activity in the coming weeks in terms of buying cards. Unless I win a load of money or win a card and then I can sell it and get some more money. But for now, this is how we're looking. Those are the new cards. Let's now take a look at how my teams are lining up for this coming game week. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is the new glorious interface for the Sorare building squads lineup. Look at it. Look at it. It's beautiful. I really like the simplified way it is. A lot of it is not appropriate for me. Still a Sorare newbie still. So, you know, All-Star not appropriate for me. These aren't going to be appropriate for me. I don't have in-season Premier League cards. I have 1 or 2, but not enough. So, we've got Champion, which Annoyingly, for this first set of game weeks, my Turkish goalkeeper Bilal is not playing this week. So I've got even less lineups I can play this week. And there's no 220 where you can play a common card. There's no Premier League specialist where I can play a common goalkeeper. So I am now, the amount of lineups I can play has gone down. Tear emojis, crying, sadness, strings. But we're not going to let that get us down. I'm going to be signing some goalkeepers probably in a few months. I just need to work out who and where. So I can't put my Turkish goalkeeper who would fit in here. I can't really put any champion teams out. My cards aren't great there, hence why they put me in Division 4. Challenger, I do have Challenger cards. But if we were to add a team here, this is all very funky. All very funky. We've not got any goalkeepers who can play in this division. So that's not great. Even if we go no game this week, yeah, no goalkeepers that can play. So we do have players that can play in the other positions. No forwards, it seems. I think I've played some sort of forward in another league. We don't have enough challengers players basically. So we need to either sign a few more, or I should probably sell the cards that I have in that league. Champion is very similar, only the Premier League cards and a few European cards, but no goalkeeper. So Contender is where they put me in League 2 because I've got some Contender cards. However, they're just not that good of a lineup this week. So in season, I could put a few in season, but out of season is kind of where I've got the best chance. So let me put used in another lineup so you can kind of see the options. So this is the goalkeeper I could play, but he's my under 23 goalkeeper, and I want to put my under 23 lineup out. This is my Santos goalkeeper, who I could also put in this league, but I'm putting him in the cap 220. I'll show you why later, mainly because I'm not fully convinced about that fixture for Santos. It's away against Juarez, who even though they're second bottom, they did just win the last game, and Santos have a few injuries, so I'm not fully certain about Santos this game week. So I wouldn't be that convinced about my goalkeeper, but I would put Acevedo if I was going for this league. And then in defense, I've got some defender cards again, but Soleil is a good card, but he's playing away against Sturm Graz, who are second in the league and score a few goals. So I'm not fully convinced about him getting a clean sheet. And it just seems to be that Santos, yeah, I've got a few Santos players. I could play in my Mexican cards, but it just seems like, he's Montes is playing Leon. That's a tricky game. Silva playing Cruz Azul. They're towards the top of the table. Lozano's playing Querétaro. So it just seems like there was no good fixtures for my Mexican cards this week. And I just thought I could put a team out in this league, but I just feel like it would be a waste. I've just got all my Mexican teams don't have good fixtures. A lot of away games. A lot of, this possibly I could have put Papa Mesa Bar in there. Aguirre's got Querétaro, There's just not a good set of fixtures. So I thought I could cobble together. I have like half a good team in Champion and half a good team in Contender. I can't really put out a strong team in either. So I don't really feel competitive in either of those. So Capped League, I think 220, I can kind of put 2 Santos players, because I do think Santos have a good fixture, but not enough for a full stack. So the goalkeeper and the midfielder Medina, who didn't have a great week last week, but has been creative. I do like this layout. So Medina, we can see from his past scores, he didn't have a great week last week, but before that, he was really good. Really good performance from him. 85. Hoping he continues that form. And then I've got João Paulinho, because he's got Sheffield United away. So that's a really good fixture, but I couldn't fit him in Champion. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the best cards I can put together are in 220 this week, because Santos boys have got nice low L15s. Chilwell has come back from injury. He played for England, so I'm thinking he's going to be fit enough to play for Chelsea. So he's got a really low L15 because he's been out for a while with injury. Chilwell's back with 34, and Sterling, I'm not fully certain Sterling plays. He's the one I'm uncertain about. However, he's had a break over the international break. And just think, you know, Mudryk could play on form. Possibly Mudryk should be starting. But Mudryk's been playing in the international break. Maybe he's a bit tired. It is Burnley at home for Chelsea as well. I just think Pochettino might possibly think it's a bit harsh to drop Sterling after such an obvious bad performance in the last game, even though it's probably deserved. I do think Pochettino likes Sterling. Pochettino might want to be a bit stubborn here and think, just because you're telling me to drop Sterling, I'm not going to do it. He might play Sterling, and then Sterling might, against Burnley at home, possibly delivers. So I just think from the best cards I can put out this week, even though it's exciting with these new leagues and the new boxes I have the potential of winning, I just don't think I've got a good chance of putting a good squad in any of those. So 220 feels like the best squad for me. I did look at 240, I did look at 270, and the L15s here just nicely fit in the 220. So I'm also hoping, because it's the first week with all of these new leagues, I'm hoping that everyone puts their strongest teams out in these leagues, and they kind of forget about the capped leagues. And if people are sleeping on the cap 220 and just put some average teams out there, hopefully if my kind of thinking works out for these teams, you know, Sheffield United for Paulinho and Burnley for my two Chelsea players, that's good on paper. And Santos, two Santos players playing second to bottom league, seems like a good lineup. So that's my 220 team. And the other team that I'm taking seriously is the two under 23s. Which again looks good on paper. The only thing that I think I'm going to struggle with is my striker again. But as I said earlier, Cade Cowell, he's hit and miss. Hoping he hits and doesn't miss, obviously. The rest of my team, I feel better about. The goalkeeper, look at that, 57. He's got the best L15 on the squad. Destiny Udogie, Tottenham have got Luton at home. So even if they don't keep a clean sheet, Luton like to concede some goals. Destiny Udogie could get some returns there. And like I said, Chelsea, Burnley at home. So I found a way to use some more of my Chelsea players, which has been in this lineup, the under-23s, Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher. Two key midfielders for Chelsea. Both should be playing. That could do well too. So I'm only really putting out two squads this weekend. Because of the new changes, it's limited the amount of squads I can play. However, I do feel like these two squads both have a good chance of doing well. So I'm hoping it's like quality over quantity this week. So that's my thinking. I'm going to be going for the under 23 league and the cap 220 and probably contender next game week, not this game week. With the Sorare rules, you don't get penalized in terms of relegation up until August. So I'm not going to get relegated from any of my leagues if I don't play a team, which is good because I'm not quite ready there for that yet. So that's how I'm liking. If you've liked the video, guys, give it a like and a subscribe. Give me some comments. Give me some advice. Give me some goalkeeper recommendations. What should I do about Petrovic? Will his price come down in the summer? Should I wait till then? Is that a good theory? Follow me on all the socials. Help your boy out. And good luck with your game weeks coming. Peace.